For the first time ever as a guest on Capital Dance, and not through want of trying, Becky Hill.
Yes!
Welcome!
I'm so happy to be here.
We're so happy to have you.
I can't believe it's taken this long. Thank you so much for having me in.
Well, listen, we love you. You know we love you. You know I love you. You know my 5-year-old daughter is obsessed with you. Like, properly obsessed. Every day I have to play something of yours to make Phoebe happy.
I'm sorry.
Don't apologise. It's good.
I've got new material for you to play, actually. So
I haven't played the new single yet.
Well, I've got lots of stuff that she needs to hear. Maybe she could be the new A&R meeting and we could get her in to see which one will do better than the others.
The problem is she's got good ears. Like, she'll hear a song and if she sings along to it, then you know it's going to be a hit. If she doesn't and asks you to switch it off, then it doesn't quite, it never really hits.
So you need to play her side effects and can you just let me know what she thinks?
Oh, 100%.
I'll gather the team round and just make sure that we're all...
Becky, I'm not joking. I play her my demos and there are songs that have gone nowhere because she's gone, no, this is rubbish, Daddy.
Oh, wow. Wow, okay. Well, saves you some money getting a consultant in, I suppose.
Exactly.
So, happy
and
days.
you are her favourite artist in the world.
Love that. Oh, she'll have to come to a gig next year.
Yeah, 100%. She will do. She will do. She's obsessed.
Oh,
in a very good way.
cute.
But you mentioned side effects. This record.
Yeah.
You and Lewis.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This is a banger.
Oh, do you like it?
It's a proper.
Oh, thanks.
And I know you'll take this the way that it's meant. It sounds like you.
Right. Which is interesting because I didn't write this one, but the thing is, the reason, because I don't take songs that I haven't written often.
No.
And the last time I did it was a song called Rude Love with Emanike. And Emanike wrote this one with Karen Paul. Karen Paul was responsible for Remember and History. And obviously Lewis has been responsible for Remember, Crazy What Love Can Do, and History. So, and then John Shavers is also a part of it as well. And he's amazing. I've worked with him before. So it really felt like family. And they kind of presented me this song and I was like, I love it. I want it. Can I have it? And it's nice because obviously me and Lewis have done like the last 3 singles together, and it's nice to actually have one together that is ours that we can own together. I think it's so sick. I fell in love with the record as soon as I heard it. I was like, I have to sing that. But Uzo sounded really good on it. Like when I heard the Emanike demo, I was like, uh-oh. I went into the studio with him and I was like, babe, I'm really not sure I'm going to sound as good as you on this. And he was like, let's just wait and see. And, right. And I came back and I was like, babe, I think I sound all right. He was like, you sound great, babe. This is perfect. So it's just been very lovely to make and create. And I've had full creative control over the video and the artwork. And it really feels like this time round, I'm an artist that really knows myself a lot more.
Yes.
So it's nice to be able to do all of that. And the live show's really coming along. And there's just, I feel like I'm ADHDing a little bit. But
you're not. You're making perfect sense. And I'm following every word.
Good. Good, because there's so much good stuff happening this year. And I think, we've had all the music up front. So it's nice to have a full release plan and the album looking really good and the live show looking great. And so it really feels strong this year. It's always that really horrible thing where before you release a record that you're like, I'm sure it's good, but I just need validation from the general public.
You need to tell me that you love me.
Please tell me I'm okay. So I hope people like Side Effects as much as I do.
Oh, it's our record of the week. It's the Jam Hot.
Thank you.
I mean, look, there is no way that it
That's
would
so
be
cool.
the Jam Hot if it wasn't such an absolute slammer. And the thing is like I say, it feels like you because something that you said there that I really want to talk about and explore is you've taken full creative control. Like, you have earned this. I've seen how long you've been in the trenches and you've grafted.
11 years.
Yes. And you've earned this position that you're in right now. And the fact is that I know a lot of other artists that have put the graft in and they get to this position and they still don't feel worthy. You are banging the drum and you are taking control. How does that feel?
Don't get me wrong. I still regularly feel like I shouldn't be anywhere near this, and I should be having my own doggy daycare centre that does all right in the area, I suppose.
The artist imposter syndrome.
Yes, but I am great with dogs, so if it does go tits up,
No, that's the side hustle for later on.
Do you know what I mean? Yeah,
Like
the
you
vocal cords are packed in.
Well, no, not even that. Just a nice little tax deductible little business.
Right.
Do you know what I'm saying?
Well, yeah, smoking fags outside. Jerry, Jerry, coming! Time for walkies. Yeah, I can see it. I can see it now. Horribly, I can see it now. But
See,
yeah.
I'm seeing a franchise of doggy daycares across the country, like the biggest doggy daycare franchise ever.
Listen, let's not do things half-assed, shall
No,
we?
you're Becky Hill. I'm sorry, I'm not having half-assed.
But yes, coming back to your question, yes, it really feels like I'm 29 now. I started this journey when I was 18. You know, and it took a long time. Like I even felt like when I had the #1 with Oliver Heldens that nobody, even though my name was on the record, nobody really cared that I had written it and was singing it, and kind of took an instrumental that had been circulating for 18 months beforehand and then made it #1. And it really felt like for his career it doubled, and for mine I was still not making any money when I went out on the road, and I was doing festivals and people were just kind of turning up and not really knowing who I was and going, oh, I know this song and I know this song. And it really feels like there's been so much job satisfaction over the last 2-3 years that has brought me to a point now where, like, I don't think any artist gets to a point where they feel confident going into a release schedule. And I still don't, like, it still makes, like, I'm still on the phone to my accountant being like, so what happens if I want children and I don't make any more money? I was like, can I still get benefits for that? Like, will the council give me a house? Because I'll probably have to sell this one.
Becky, you sound like me, the chronic overthinker.
It's horrible.
That all of a sudden everything has gone to complete and utter pop before anything's happened.
Yeah. And it's been a really scary time leading up to Side Effects. So it's so nice to actually feel like it's out and the video's out and like we can start the ball rolling. And I think I just had to get this one out there for then the other records which are coming, and they all sound amazing. I'm so proud of what I've made in such a short amount of time with some of the most loved people I've ever met in my life, and especially in London. So I'm excited. I really hope people like what I do and can let me continue making music and performing it live.
I don't think you understand the impact that you have on people. I truly don't.
Like a fart that won't go away.
In the nicest possible way. But I'm being deadly serious. And I've seen the journey, and I've literally stood side of stage while you've been performing. And you see the reaction that you get from people when you put something up on social media and you're so honest. And I thank you for your honesty, because, again, you don't understand how many people you help with your honesty. I see the responses. And I know personally that you will put something out there, and the way that it affects me as someone who knows you, to the point where I text you and say, mate, thank you. I don't think you understand the impact that you have on people.
Coming from humble backgrounds and being one of 5 with parents who I still don't know how they are together, and you know, and kind of being from a state school, and you know, my parents weren't famous, and I didn't get into the music industry in that way. Like I also think I'm pretty neurodiverse in the fact that I just can't lie, and I can't be anything but unapologetically myself. So for me, I've always seen it as a bit of a blessing and a curse when it comes to the job, because I think people want to see a level of aspiration when they look at an artist, and I think they want to disconnect to a certain extent the fact that they're a person, but obviously there's kind of no hiding it with me. So it's like I've really found it quite difficult to get people on board, or I suppose my perception is that it's been quite difficult to get people on board in something that won't be as aspirational as a Dua Lipa, for example, you know, who is so shiny and so beautiful and so elegant, and I'm a clumsy, sweaty mess most of the time, you know, and I kind of love that about myself, but also it's like I love that, and it's like are other people going to like it? And it's been quite a scary process. Like, especially when you're an artist, you feel like you have the spotlight put on you, I think, when you do anything like this. But hopefully people are loving the Clumsy Sweaty Mess.
Well, let's get into the latest song from Clumsy Sweaty Mess.
Yeah. Oh my God, it's such a good name.
It's a new band.
It's my album too, Clumsy Sweaty Mess by Becky Hill.
Now, we already know that 2023 is going to be your year with the release of Side Effects and the stuff that you've told us about that's coming very, very soon. But 2023 is also a decade since the release of Afterglow.
Whoa, that's made me feel old, bro. 10 years.
10 years.
Do you know what? I left drum and bass for a while because I felt like I couldn't do anything better than that. It's like I was such a fan of it when I was a kid. And then by the time I'm 18, I'm writing Afterglow. And then it becomes this... And I've always... If I could have told my 15-year-old self that you're going to write one of the drum and bass classics, like it has kind of become bigger than anything I've ever done or myself. And I love Afterglow so much. But it's funny, I wrote a song a couple of weeks ago with Chase and Status.
Oh, yeah?
That I think, which will be coming out, and I think will be near to what Afterglow has done and what it means to drum and bass. Because obviously I did Wilkinson, I did Here For You with Wilkinson on his second album, and I did Hold On by Netsky. Now, Netsky I was listening to when I was a kid, illegally downloading his EPs. That's how old I am.
I'm nearly twice your age. It's fine.
I was like, bro, man, I think I illegally downloaded your way online. He was like, it's fine, you've made it up to me now. Thank God for that.
Boris is a good guy.
He's such a good guy. So, I'm glad I did those. I'm glad I did those two records, and they're a part of my set, and I love it. And it's kind of sandwiched with Afterglow. But I'm so excited to release another drum and bass record. Like it runs through my blood. 170 BPM runs through my blood, and I love it so much.
What would you say to yourself 10 years ago if you could go back now to you writing Afterglow?
Expect to sing this for a very long time.
Don't put that extra high run in there, because you're not going to want to do that.
I get complaints if I don't sing it live.
Really?
Like I think I did Victoria's Festival in Portsmouth. Yes. And I had some guy message me being like, can you make sure you put Afterglow in your set, please? And I was like, it was in my set. He was like, it wasn't. And sent me like 12 tweets from different people going, I can't believe Becky Hill didn't put Afterglow in her set. Like, I get hate for it. But I love it. It's such a staple for me. And it means that I get a bit of a break from singing because everybody knows the words. It's the same verse twice, so I mean...
You sing. Yeah. You sing. I need a break. Thank you.
Who cares where we go?
If you could add anything to the track, what would you do?
I would probably... now I'm at a point where I'm way more versed with, like, vocals. And I've got people like Vula Malinga and Ryan Ashley who are potentially, I'm going to put it out there, the best vocal producers that I've ever met in my life. And to see how those two work, I would probably stack up that post-chorus with a few more harmonies and a few more vocals and make it just sound a bit fuller. That's probably what I would do.
I'm just saying, like, Afterglow 2023 as like an extra bonus as part of the current campaign.
Come to the live show, it's fine. You'll see it there.
Now, I want to talk about the fact that you just mentioned Vula.
Yeah.
And I love Vula. I've worked with Vula along. Vula nearly sang at my wedding. She put the band together that played at my wedding.
Wow.
Like, she's ridiculous. But you, as someone who is active in the business, have been very, very vocal about making sure that people get their credit within dance music. And especially making sure that the featured vocalist gets proper credit. Since you started to do that, other people have been speaking up. We've been doing our bit here at Capital Dance.
I've noticed, yeah.
There is no way that we'll play a song that features a vocalist that should be credited but wasn't credited without crediting them.
Absolutely.
Obviously, there's certain situations where the vocalist doesn't want to be credited, so we don't want to step over that line.
Afterglow was that example. I didn't want to be credited on that record.
Why didn't you want to be credited?
Weirdly, because I thought people would think that Wilkinson would have sold out because I was off The Voice. Like, it was my first look off The Voice, and I didn't want him, who is like a credible dance DJ, drum and bass DJ, that I'd been, again, illegally downloading the Samurai EP when I was like 16. I didn't want people to think that, oh, he's just sold out to some talent show girl.
That upsets me.
Well, it kind of...
It was a lesson though, right?
I mean, people know that's me, and they know it as my record. It was kind of like it did the talking for me. But like for a long time, I think featured vocalists, and especially like black women in the history of dance music, have been completely overlooked, screwed over, not paid, not even in the video. That they've sang the vocal, but they've got some other girl in the video, you know, who's got lighter skin or, you know, thinner, or there's all of these things that have been so historic with vocalists in dance music. I mean, for a while, dance music vocals were all black women doing these vocals. I think I saw something recently, Martha, I can't remember her
Martha
name.
Wash.
That's it. And she didn't get paid for...
Right on Time.
Well,
And CNC Music Factory.
What was... I Got the Power.
Oh, Snap.
Yes.
Snap, I Got the Power.
She didn't get paid for it. Wow. She had to fight for those rights for a long time. And you know, so... Right on Time, obviously there was no featured vocalist on that. The guys were, because it is Right on Time, but the guys are from like Norway or Sweden or somewhere, and they were like, well, yeah, Right on Time, yeah. So just consult the singer, bro. So yeah, I think what I feel like this project, I'm going round and like talking to like people about it now, and I'm selling it obviously as like, this is me and this is my new thing and it's really good for me, but what we're doing here is opening up doors for other females, you know, the same as Eliza Rose. In a way, Ray did that for a lot of people in dance music as well. You know, and I think there are these doors now being opened, but there's more of a reason to support it, because for historically, you know, dance music generally, I mean, there wasn't a Brit Award for it until 2000, and since 2006 when the Basement Jacks won it. Yeah. You know, but what we're doing here is trying to create a channel for women. When I joined the industry when I was 18, it was all men. There were still groupies. There was nobody female backstage. And now, because there's more women represented backstage, you have less of that kind of horrible DJ culture that was around 10 years ago. So I think the whole thing is like beautiful to see, but like there's the weight of female singers and female artists and DJs in the dance sector is so important right now, and will continue to be, hopefully.
Oh, 100%. And look, you know, it's not through accident that Capital Dance is 100% minority presented. I'm the only male. On air.
Good for you for
on
getting
our
that
station.
Job.
We've got to try and redress the balance somehow.
Absolutely, and I totally agree. And I think for a long time, you know, as I said with the Oliver Heldens thing, like nobody cared that I wrote or sang that song. You know, False Alarm, nobody really cared that it was. But then I was doing these tracks, and their live fee was doubling. You know, and I was still only just breaking even with having a band on stage. You know, I wasn't making any money for a long, long time. So I think, you know, readdressing that balance of, because it was interesting, I was talking to Getter about this, and I was having that conversation with him, and he was like, it's so interesting because when Getter was coming up, well, not coming up, so I feel like he's always been up.
Since 1987.
Do you know what I mean? Right? You know, he was saying that it was more about Rihanna and more about Sia, and more like when he did Who's That Chick with Rihanna, it was more about Rihanna, and Titanium was kind of more about Sia than it was about him, and like Kelly Rowland doing Commander and
When Love Takes Over.
Yeah, When Love... And Khalees and all of these, like, he really felt like it was more about them. But somewhere along the way, we lost that. And it's about bringing that back round again, because that was an incredible time for dance music.
I've got a game to play with you.
What is it?
It is called Set Roulette.
Okay.
So, basically, we will spin a magic wheel. I must warn you, no expense has been spent on this magic wheel.
Is it imaginary?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, exactly. The wheel either lands on cringe, wild, or weird. And we need to know either the wildest, weirdest, or cringiest thing that's happened to you, either whilst playing a set or at a gig, either happened while you're performing or that you've witnessed.
Okay.
Are you ready to spin the wheel and find out your fate?
Go on then.
Yep.
It's just a noise.
No, it's a magic wheel, Becky. Look as it spins. Oh, it's shiny. What's it landing on?
Oh, that's it. Look, it's landed on...
Cringe. Cringiest thing that you have experienced, either as a punter in a rave or during one of your sets.
Okay, so I remember... I remember I'd rolled my ankle, right?
What?
I'd rolled my ankle like 6 weeks before and I'd done it quite badly, so there was like a big blue-purple line at the bottom of my foot, right? Anyway, I was on stage, I think this was quite early on, because I think I was performing to a bunch of brownies. There's no show she won't do.
Been there, done that.
So I was like performing to him, and I was walking along the stage, and there was a wire that was left on the stage, and I rolled my ankle on stage, and then came to the end of the song, and then proceeded to get my foot out to show the brownies my blue and purple foot. Just be like, look, I did this. And as I was doing it, I was like, why is my sock off?
Do you feel like you might have overshared in that moment?
It's like, tell me you're autistic without telling me you're autistic. Why is her foot out on screen? Why is she showing the camera at this gig her foot?
Look, guys, my foot's blue!
Yeah, it was like that. I was like, what possessed me? I love that. Anyway, I hope if you've grown up after the brownies, this was probably about 7-8 years ago. If you are now a fully fledged adult and you remember me getting my foot out, please hit me up in the DMs.
Come and see her in Ibiza. She will get her foot out for you.
Let's hope I leave it at the foot and all.
Oh, we need to play another one of your songs. What do you want to play?
Can we play Warm?
Warm?
Yeah, old one was Shift Key.
Yes.
I wrote that with Shift Key back in my days where I'd just been dropped and had started up my own record label.
Yes.
And this was part of the the money I'd spent on releasing music, which turns out it's hella expensive. Yeah. I love Warm. It's a bit more of a slow tempo. What did Lewis call it? Mid-tempo festival banger.
Yeah. Well, I see. I'm really glad that you chose that. And I'm also really glad that you mentioned that period of time where you'd got dropped. And then you invested in yourself.
After the number one as well, Savage had the number one, and then Losing came out, and they released Losing too late. And this is where like radio had all the power. I mean, radio still has all the power, but I think it got playlisted on New Music We Trust, and that was it. I was dropped. They were like, we're done. And I remember being pulled out of a writing session, and this was before Christmas. And just like my manager being like, yeah, they don't want to work with us anymore. And I was like, can I just have a moment in the bathroom, please? Went and cried my little eyes out. And then my manager was like, I'm not going to leave you. And I was like, what? You were thinking of leaving me?
The worst thing a manager could have said to you in that moment. The worst thing.
Well, you were thinking of leaving me? What do you mean? This is horrible. And then we did the Echo EP. We started Echo Records, which we're now looking at signing people to. So it was a really big moment for me. I mean, radio were huge supporters and actually were the reason why I got my second record deal out of it. So that whole period of time was thorough determination and fine. Then I'm gonna do it myself and screw you all.
The hustler spirit.
Yeah.
It will never leave you. It will never leave you.
Oh man, I was a lot younger then. I don't know how I did. I would be too scared now, I reckon, but. It's mad what you do, innit, for the love of it. I'd moved to London and I'd left all my family behind, and I was like, this can't fail. So and It hasn't so far. But please listen to my brand new single, Side Effects.
It's this week's Jam Hot.
Yeah.
Now, you mentioned it, and I saw a tweet where you confessed that you can't lie.
Mm-hmm.
I've got to ask, have you ever been caught out with a little bit of a white lie?
I wish.
Or is that why you can't lie? Because
Yeah.
you try and it just backfires.
You can see it on my face.
No lying for you.
No lying for me.
But we have to tell the truth, and we have to talk about Ibiza this year.
Yes.
Because you're going to be in Ibiza quite a lot this year.
Yeah.
With your residency at Ibiza Rocks. Tell me about that. For anyone that has missed out on what it is that you're doing on the White Isle this year.
It is, so it's gone up from 6 weeks last year to 11 weeks this year. It was 12, but I was like, I can't do that last week. Jesus Christ, I'm going to end up in a box.
No, mate.
So it's 11 weeks at Ibiza Rocks. I'm the first female resident at Ibiza Rocks. It is a hybrid of a DJ show and a live show. What I like to feel like I bring is the same journey that you would experience in a set, but I bring the live element to it. So I have my dancers with me.
Your dancers are amazing, by the way.
Thank you. And we've added a couple more, but I think we've, for the festivals, the Ibiza Rock set, we were noticing that we were catching on fire at certain points because the stage isn't the biggest. So I was like, I got sparklers in my eyes. So there's that, and it's incredible. It's like the biggest party you could imagine. It's totally, it's really diverse and it's really all-inclusive.
Yes.
And it's leaning on queer, but you don't have to be to enjoy it. And it's like welcoming for everybody. And it is it's like an hour and a half of just amazing dancing and I'd have a lot of hits now.
That might be the understatement of the year.
So I have a few hits and like it's just a power set. It's like you don't really have much time to breathe, and I love that. I love watching people being like, damn, another one. Like, oh, we just sang Afterglow. What, we've got Piece of Me? Oh, false alarm. Oh, crazy what love can do. Oh, history. Oh, remember. I'm like, yes.
I'm going to hit you with the hits.
Yeah.
Now you sing.
Yes. Yeah.
Well, listen, it's taken nearly 3 years to get you in the studio here at Capital Dance. It ain't going to take another 3 years.
No, I got loads of stuff for you. I'll be here every week.